Hello, welcome back to my YouTube channel. This week's video, I'm going to be making over another drinks cabinet. So this cocktail cabinet, I actually purchased this quite a few years ago from a fellow furniture painter, and it's sat in my unit ever since. I don't know why I haven't done anything with it sooner. Every single year on the run up to Christmas, which is when cocktail cabinets are very popular, I say that I'm going to get it out and paint it, and I haven't for several years. Well, not this year. This year it's going to get completed. So this is what the piece looks like, classic cocktail cabinet, and of course the first thing we're going to do is give it a damn good clean. This has been in my storage unit for years. It's not in bad shape, just a little bit grubby. It also has a glass insert at the very bottom, which is a really nice little touch, and I'm just going to use Dixie Belle's White Lightning to give this a good thorough clean inside and out. I am going to be painting the inside, so that's why I'm cleaning that. I'm just not a fan of that pale wood finish. This is a rinseable cleaner, so once you've given it a good old scrub, you do need to rinse it off. All I use is a microfiber cloth that has been ran under a nice warm tap, and then just rinse it off that way. I also took the doors off this after I cleaned it. I mean, you could do it before, but this is just how my logic works. I took the doors off because I just needed to make this finish spot on, and I also just needed to get inside the cabinet to paint it, and I think that's probably the best way to do that, is to take doors off. And also it just means you're not painting over hinges and stuff, and you're going to make a proper job of it. Don't get me wrong, there's other pieces that I've kept the doors on. There's no real wrong or right answer whether you should or shouldn't take doors off to paint. I just wanted a slightly cleaner look with this one. So the primer that I'm using on the interior of this piece is called Bond Emboss. It's a water-based adhesion primer that also has stain blocking properties as well, and I'm using this because the inside is very shiny and glossy. I did try and give it a little sand, but it just was not budging. So obviously I want this to be super durable, so anything on the inside, including the interior of the doors, I am painting 2 coats of this, and then I'm letting it completely dry. The outside wasn't quite as tough and shiny and durable in its finish, so I'm giving that a scuff sand. I'm using a 120 grit sandpaper on my Festool sander, and then just for the detail I just used a little bit of sandpaper folded in half to get into the detail. I knew straight away what colour I wanted to do this piece. It's a very elegant, classy looking piece. I just wanted it to be a statement piece, so I'm using Midnight Sky, which is a soft black or a very, very dark charcoal grey, depending on how you look at it and in the lighting. So it's not quite as jet black as Caviar, so it's a little bit softer, and it's got grey and blue undertones, a really nice shade, and I'm stippling that on to get a little bit of texture on the surface. I'm not using any texture additive, I just want a little bit of movement in the paint. I don't want a completely flat finish, so that's why I'm stippling it on, and I'm using one of Dixie Belle's synthetic brushes. Again, it's not going to give me a mega textured finish, just ever so slightly. So for the interior, I wasn't quite sure what I wanted to do with that, and I thought a metallic finish might look pretty cool and obviously catch the light and all the glasses and bottles inside. So I went down the route of gold initially. I'm using a base coat here of Sandbar, which is a chalk mineral paint colour, and then I used the colour Gold Digger, which is a metallic gold paint, and stippled that over the top using a sponge. See, the thing with me is I'm quite impulsive sometimes, and if I feel like something isn't right, then I just instantly change it. I don't sit on things and wait and see, and that's exactly what I did with the inside of this. The gold wasn't right for me, especially with the dark exterior, so all I've done is used Dixie Belle's Copper Patina paint and stippled that over the top. Now, I wouldn't have done the pale base coat had I have known I was going to do this. I probably would have done a dark chocolate brown, because that would have been a much better suit, but it's okay, we can work with it. I'm going to layer it, but for tonight I'm just going to let it dry and leave it alone. So as I mentioned, these are from Dixie Belle's Patina paint range. Now these paints are intended to be used with a patina spray, which you spray on them, and then they create a very natural organic looking patina. but they can be used as standalone metallic paints, and they are actually incredible metallic paints. So I'm using the copper and the bronze. I'm using the bronze now straight over the top of the copper, which is going to give me a kind of variegated finish. I don't want a one block colour with this, and I'm using a little bit of scrunched up paper to apply it again, so I don't get one flat colour. For the interior of the doors, I already knew what I was doing, so I didn't make my mistake of putting the light colour and the gold first. So I undercoated in coffee bean, which is a dark chocolate brown, which makes an excellent base for this type of metallic colour. So this is the copper going on now. As you can see, it catches the light beautifully. It's such a good metallic paint, I cannot tell you. These are really super durable as well, so this won't need top coating, which is an added bonus. Once that was dry, I then used bronze, which is a slightly browner colour, and I just felt like this is the main colour that I wanted to see, but with a little bit of that copper peeking through. And I'll show you the difference now. The left hand side is mainly bronze, and the right hand side is just copper, yet to be added bronze too. So you can see the difference. They're very slightly different in colour and tone, but very similar, so that they work very, very well together. The star of the show, pun intended there, is going to be this all over tile stencil. So I saw this stencil used on another furniture painter's work. They're called Second Hand Interiors, and they produce the most gorgeous pieces of furniture I think I've ever seen. They are absolutely delicious. So I messaged them and asked them where they got their tile stencil from, because I've been looking for a stencil like this for so long and I cannot find one that's suitable for furniture. They're all too very much like tiles, and they have like borders around them that mean you can only use it on a tile, otherwise it'd look a little bit strange. I just wanted one that I could use as a continuous pattern. They told me they got it from Temu. Now, I don't usually like buying from those kind of places. I'd rather support small retailers and boutique kind places, but trust me, I looked everywhere for a stencil like this. I even ordered one from a really good stencil stockist in the UK, but it just wasn't right because it had a board around it where you would put your grout, if you like, or make it look like it was grout, which I didn't want. I didn't want this to look like a tile on my piece. I wanted it to look like a continuous star pattern. So unfortunately, that stencil wasn't suitable for this project, so I've gone with the Temu one. It's actually a pretty good stencil for the price. I can't complain about it, aside from the fact that I'm not a massive fan of buying from those kind of places. However, here we are. So once I'd done that stenciling all over with that tile stencil, I just very lightly distressed it. This is a 220 grit sandpaper, and I'm just rubbing the piece all over to just slightly soften it. I did also distress some of the corners and edges to bring that dark brown through, which kind of pulls it all together with the interior of the piece, obviously, which has the kind of bronzy metallic look. And then to finish this off, you know I'm going to be using wax. This is clear wax. I'm putting it on with a sponge because that's just how I prefer to do it. A couple of thin coats, leave it to dry in between, buff it off, and it is actually more durable than a lot of people think. I know I haven't delved too much into the stenciling technique that I've used here because I have covered it in quite a lot of other videos, and I'm really conscious trying not to go over the same thing over and over again, but I am a massive fan of stenciling. There are other videos on my YouTube channel where I do go into it a little bit more, and you'll probably see it a lot more in the future because I'm really loving an all over repeat pattern at the moment. But essentially what you need is a stencil brush, although I do use other brushes as well, and a rag to take off as much paint as possible, and then you just stipple it all over. I stippled it with this piece because the stencil had some quite fine lines and I didn't want to disrupt those. And the last thing I'm doing is just buffing the wax off here. Just make sure there's no excess product on the surface and gives it that really nice sheen. I also put a little dusting of antique gold gilding wax. So this is one of the newer colours, and it's just less yellow than the standard kind of original gold, if you like. And I'm just applying it with a very cheap craft brush. I think it was out of my kids' painting kits. because the bristles are quite splayed out. You can also use makeup brushes because they're quite soft. Like cheap makeup brushes are perfect for this look. And I'm just really lightly dusting it over the handles to give it a little hint of a warmer tone to match with the inside of the piece. As always, there's some close-ups of the finished look. You can see the kind of metallic-y look. I just shoved some fairy lights inside so it kind of pick up on that metallic-y interior. I have to say, I think this is one of my favourite ever pieces, and it is, at the moment, available on my website. As always, thank you for watching the video today. I hope you enjoyed it. Make sure you are subscribed to my YouTube channel, and I will catch you next time. Bye!